This video is made possible by Practical Defense Systems, the best online security training at the lowest prices. You can start your security career today online at pdsclasses.com. Check them out. Hi, I'm Joel Persinger. I'm the Gun Guy. Thank you very much for all of your support of GunGuyTV. I'm super grateful for everything that you do. As I say repeatedly, please don't stop. Now, I do want to urge you to check us out on these alternative locations because YouTube is always a little sketchy, and it's nice to know where GunGuyTV can be found in other places. So those are all the places where you can find the videos. We duplicate the channel there every time I post a video. You might also check out the GunGuyTV Firearms podcast. It's an audio podcast. It comes out twice a month on your favorite podcast player. We also post a video version of that podcast with just a thumbnail picture in all the video places. And then check us out on the new social media platforms too. We're not doing Facebook too much, and we're not doing Twitter at all. Those things really tend to regulate the tar out of you and kill your speech, so we're using the alternative places. Check us out in those if you get a chance. All right. I wanted to mention some things about weapon lights because the question has come up a lot recently just in exchanges with me and people who sent me emails. And also the issue is a lot of companies keep sending me lights to review, and I think, well, if I do nothing, if I become the nothing but light review channel, I'm going to drive you crazy. So I thought what I would do is look at the various types of weapons mounted lights and let you get a feel for what's going to work best for you. Because the truth is, picking a light for your rifle or your shotgun or your handgun is really a personal preference issue, just like picking your rifle or your shotgun or your handgun is, or a hat or a shirt or the clothes that you wear. So it's important for you to understand the various different options and how they might be used. Most easily discussed is the light that goes on your handgun, like this one. This is my wife's Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm. And this is a Crimson Trace light that she likes. It has a laser on it too. So this is a light laser combo with a little red laser. And this is actually her home defense pistol. We each have a home defense pistol, a home defense rifle, and my son and I each have home defense shotguns. But this is her home defense pistol, so one she prefers for that. If she was going to carry a gun, if she's carrying a gun, it's a different gun. She doesn't want to carry this big monster, particularly when we're on our property out in Arizona, because it's just a lot of weight to carry around. So she carries generally a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield or a little Glock 43, I think it is, the one that's the 9mm typically. But this is home defense, so having this big light thing is really cool. You push the sides on it, and that's what sets the laser on and off and the light on and off. And then you can adjust it to do light only, laser only, light and laser. I mean, they're all that way. So that's one example, and that's from Crimson Trace. Those are made in the United States. Here's another one from Streamlight. This is a TLR 8, I had to think about it, and this is on my home defense gun, I guess you could call it. This is my Springfield XD40, and this one, you have to push it forward, and it also has a red laser, and it's a light laser combo. I don't know why I have a different one than she has. I think it's just what I had at the time, but I've gotten pretty used to it. Although I've been playing with hers now, and I forgot you don't push the side, you push the front. So it's important to know how your equipment works. These are always awesome, and they're really easy to use. The nice part about it is once you put them on there, it's on there. If it doesn't have the laser, you don't have to dial it in. You just snap the light on there, and you have a light. So you can do light only, or you can do a laser light combo if you want. They come in different shapes, sizes, I don't know about colors, but that's how that works. And they have the little fins on the back. You either push them in, push them forward, or you push them in. This one happens to be the Streamlight version, again, made in the United States. Now you can take those also and you can put them on a rifle. All right, let me take this one down. I'm kind of doing things in an order I wasn't planning, but that's all right. Let's take this one and put it here. And since we're talking about those, let me grab one of those. You can take those same types of lights and you can mount them on a rifle if you want. Like this one happens to be on an AR. And this is a Crimson Trace light. The pro is that they're really light because they're meant to be in a pistol. So they don't really weigh very much, where you can get much heavier, larger, bulkier lighting options for long guns. I'm going to show you some of those. These are light, they're handy, they work really well, and they're super bright. The issue is that they're designed to have these little fins that you press be tucked around the trigger guard of a pistol, and if you put them on a rifle, there's nothing around them, so they're real easy to hit on the side. There's one on each side, and if you press it, the light comes on. or the light laser or whatever you got. Okay, this one's light only. Now, I put this on here a while ago because I had it, and I thought, well, I'll put it on that rifle and see how it works out. And I've used the rifle a lot. I've gone through a couple of tactical classes with it and so on. And what I have not experienced is what I expected to experience. I expected that these were going to be easy to hit and knock the light on. But you can see I'm tapping it pretty hard and it's not doing it. You have to really push it to get it to go on. So what I have not experienced is the light coming on accidentally because it bumps up against something. I suspect it's more susceptible to that than other types of lights you might use on your rifle or your shotgun. So be aware of that. And again, I'm not a veteran, so I've never used any of these tools in a combat situation. So I don't know. I could be completely wrong here. So if you're a veteran, you have combat experience, let me know what you think as well. I'd love to know what you think. You're the expert. So let us know in the comments. That'll help everyone out. I'm just sharing with you that my limited experience, I have not had it just go on because it got tapped on the side. However, it can happen. The positive, as I said, is they are small. Most of the lights that you want to put on your AR or whatever seem to be large, and I'm not sure why that is, but those are the ones I generally see people have. Now, with that in mind, I took another one of these and I put it on my wife's little Ruger PC carbine because I was curious how well it would work on that. I'll find that one for you. I tried to dig out a variety of things for you here today. So this is also Crimson Trace, and it has the little fins on it as well, but same deal. I can, bat it pretty good. It doesn't do anything. I have to give it a definitive, really good solid push for it to come on. Oh, the laser's on this one, so it's got a little green laser on it, and it's got a fin on either side. Now, this is my wife's PC carbine. She has not experienced it go on accidentally either, and she's used it quite a bit here and there, go to the range or whatever. So maybe the fear of them being hit, from the side accidentally is unreasonable or irrational or something. But the last thing you want to do is you need a light and you push the button and the light doesn't come on. Since these are really designed to be on pistols, I'm not using them for that application. I'm using them on rifles, and I'm finding they're very successful and they work really well. But like I said, your mileage may vary. Nevertheless, these lights are, again, the Crimson Trace ones and the Streamlight ones are outstanding. They're made in the United States, if that matters to you. Some folks it matters a lot. Some folks it matters a little. Some folks it doesn't matter at all. But they are really good lights, and I have a number of them from both Crimson Trace and Streamlight, and I will put links in the description for you if you want to. Crimson Trace is actually a supporter of the channel. So if you want to buy Crimson Trace, you can do that, and it benefits GunGuyTV. But again, that's up to you. Streamlight is not a supporter of the channel. I wish they were. Maybe they will now after this. You never know. Hang on to your hat. All right, let's see. What else we got here? This is another version of the Streamlight lights. I put this one on this Sega, and I'll have to turn it this way so you can see. These Streamlight lights have a rocker in the back, and so you can rock it one way and it's temporary on, or you can rock it the other way and lock it and it's on all the time. Now, because these have a rocker and you really have to click it into place to get it to stay on, I think the likelihood of them being knocked on and left on and the battery dying on you is probably a little bit less, if not quite a bit less, than the design that's meant specifically for handguns. These will work on handguns very well, and I do actually have a home defense gun that has one of these on it. You just rock the switch back and forth because it's on the sides of the trigger guard as well. But I think because you have to snap it into place and it's a really solid snap, that's probably why I've never had any problem with it on rifles. Now, the downside to these is the way they're mounted. These are bigger, and as you can see, it's mounted to the side of the rifle, and the same thing on my Mini 14. Let me get this one here. This is a TLR 2 on this one, and again, it's mounted to the side of the rifle. Same deal, you can lock it into place, or you push it the other way and it's springy, so it comes on. And yeah, you can get the stroby flashy thing if you want it. Truthfully, I've never found a reason for that, but they're on there on a lot of these. It's an option, so I just did it accidentally. But this has both laser and light combo on it. Again, for the rifle, sometimes having that really solid click is good because it's less likely to be knocked on a solid on and stay on type of situation, burn down your battery probably than the others. Although, frankly, as I said, I haven't experienced it with any of them. Now, the downside is it sticks out where it sticks out. I'm not a military guy, so I don't have any experience trudging around, carting a bunch of gear around as a military guy, but I am a hunter, and I have an experience carting around a big backpack and radio and all this other stuff and all this hunting gear everywhere I go. And I've lost some gear over the years because it wasn't really tied down very well. I lost a GMRS radio one time on a hunting trip because it broke off the clip and hit the ground somewhere on the trail. I have no idea where. We were never able to find it and finally gave up and just went on. So I've lost various pieces of gear. If it's not locked down to you, it's going to fall off and you're going to lose it. Likewise, if it's anything that protrudes off of your rifle anywhere, like this thing, it's going to get caught on things and snagged on bushes and like that, and it's going to be a nuisance. So you have to be aware of that. I generally don't put weapon-mounted lights or anything like that on rifles that I hunt with regularly anyway, and it's precisely because of that. I want to keep it down to the minimum so it's not snagging on everything everywhere I go, because you're walking through brush. On our property in Arizona, we have a whole lot of pinyon pines and junipers and like that, and they're big. The junipers are 15, 18 feet high, and the pinyon pines are 20 some odd feet high or something. But the junipers, as you know, if you know anything about those trees, they're bushy on the bottom. And so you tend to catch as you go by, this will grab stuff, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. So I don't put them on there for hunting. They're just pretty much strictly for self-defense purposes. But be aware of the fact that if it's sticking out like that, that may be a negative for you, and it might grab everything as you go. However, when I'm looking at people's pictures of their setups, a lot of times they are really big lights, like this one on the shotgun, that are sitting on the side, this big Mobus thing here. And this big light with its mount, the light is new, the mount is not. This light is from a company called Sofirn. It's made in China, so if that really bugs you, you can freak out now. That's fine. Freak out in the comments, just leave the swear words out. I'm not a big proponent of Chinese-made stuff, sometimes because it's made very poorly, a lot of it, and because their politics are really awful, and I consider them kind of an enemy of the United States in a lot of regards. However, some stuff made in China is made very well, and frankly, I don't know you can get through life without buying things that are made in China. It just is what it is. A lot of the stuff, particularly electronics you buy, are made in China. Get over it. And a lot of the clothes and like that, there's not much you can do about it, really. But that being the case, this company seems to be a really good company. They originally sent me this light, and I thought it would not last because I thought, well, it's probably a cheap Chinese light. Well, this thing has outlasted a Surefire and a couple of other law enforcement lights that were very expensive. And they've died, and this one hasn't. I've dropped it in the drink. I've dropped it on the concrete. This thing has lasted me, I don't know, it's been a couple, 2 or 3 years now. And it's actually become my favorite light as a result of that because it's indestructible. And then they sent me this one, and this is a diver's light. And our property out there in Arizona, when it's dark, it's dark. This thing's uber bright, and I really like it. It's completely waterproof, and I've dropped it a number of times, and it's indestructible as well. So when they wanted to send me this one, I said, sure, and they did. And what I was thinking at the time was I had this neat little Surefire light on here, but it's not very bright. It's really old. And compared to today's technology, it's an incandescent bulb, and it's just not very bright, as opposed to this thing, which is quite a bit brighter, actually. The other thing I liked about this is that it has a little port that is sealed with a rubber grommet, and I can use that little port and the included cable to just charge the light while it's on the gun. I don't have to take the battery out. I don't have to do any of that. Just charge it. So this is a really good light too. I'll put a link to these in the description if you're interested in them. I've been very happy with them so far, and I'm happy with this one. Now this one does some stuff I don't care about. You can adjust the intensity of the light, and you can make it dim or bright or whatever, much in the same way you can do it with this one. You can make it dim or brighter or whatever. I don't use that. The other thing is you can do the strobe thingy with it. And you can do it either temporary, or you can hold it, and then it'll just keep strobing. Again, I don't care about that. It does have a temporary on if you just touch it, and it'll stay on if you click it. And so that's really what I wanted it for. I do get asked a lot with this about the mount. The mount actually is made in the United States, and I'll get you a picture of that, and I'll put a link to the mount and the flashlights in the description for you as well. But again, these are really, really big, and so they do tend to snag on stuff sometimes. And they're a little heavy, so they tend to make the gun a little bit front heavy. That doesn't bother me. I'm a fairly large man, so I don't really care about that kind of stuff. I'm 6'2" and about 230, and so I don't have a problem with heavy too much. And honestly, on a shotgun, I kind of like that, so I don't have an issue with it. Now, this light, like the... what I do with it? Hold on. Like this one, this Streamlight right here with the rocker switch on it, those come with, or you can get a mount for a switch to go on the gun, a remote switch. I don't use it, and the main reason I don't use it is because the cable gets in the way of things and you got to strap the cable down. It's one more thing to grab something, and because of the way my arm is positioned on the gun when I'm shooting, I can just reach over and hit the switch with my thumb. So that's the only reason I don't use it. They are very popular and they work really well. This light from Sofirn also comes with a remote. It's just the back of the cap, and it comes with a really solid remote, really solid cable. It works brilliantly, and it's got a couple different options here on it, which is kind of cool. However, on a shotgun, if I were to mount it on a pump shotgun, that means this is going to be reciprocating as I'm racking the bolt, and eventually I'm going to wear the cable out, so I didn't worry about it. And I'm so used to reaching up with my thumb and hitting the switch that, again, I didn't worry about it. But those options are available. One more thing about the Sofirn lights. I've always been grateful for the fact that they're waterproof. You can drop them in the drink, and they're not going to go bad on you. They have O-rings in them to seal them, but they always send you an extra set of O-rings. Who does that? So I think that's pretty neat. Well, anyway, there's some different options for you for weapon lights. I would just say to you again that it really is a personal preference issue. I would not let the Twitterverse and YouTubeverse dictate what you buy or what you use. It's really personal preference. People get super wiggy with their opinions. Everybody has a right to their opinion. So if you like this as opposed to that and it works for you, then use what works. It's sort of like Filipino martial arts. I've studied them and taught them for years, and one of the slogans we have is it works or it doesn't work. Okay? If it works for you, that's what you should do if you're happy with it and it works. If it doesn't work, don't do it. I don't care what everybody else on the internet says. Anyway, thank you so very much for all of your support. Have a wonderful day. Please consider joining the GunGuyTV crew. We will be having our next guest, which will either be Rick Travis from CRPA, to be on our next 2A Patriot Conference, which you can ask him questions if you want, or Dan O'Kelly. Talking to both of those guys, it's a schedule issue. They're both going to come on, but we're going to have one in July, and you can be part of that by joining the GunGuyTV crew. You will find a link in the description, or you can go to GunGuyTVcrew.com. Have a great week. Thank you very much. Wherever you go, whatever you do, stay safe.